Considered to be the leading scientist in whale evolution, Dr. Philip Gingrich and his student Hans Thewissen falsified extinct animal remains. These remains of supposed walking whales were fabricated and submitted to the top museums around the world. These include the museums of Carnegie Museum in Pittsburgh, the Smithsonian, Natural History Museum of London, Melbourne Museum of Australia, Canadian Museum of Nature, Paris Natural History Museum, Naturalis Museum, Netherlands Museum, and many more. In a television interview conducted by Dr. Carl Werner, these two leading scientists were exposed for committing fraud and admit on camera that they attached fake whale body parts, such as flukes, blowholes, and fins, to land animals and supplied these forged fossils and diagrams to museums and peer-reviewed magazines. Pictured here are the actual remains of Pakicetus, discovered by Gingrich in 1983. Only a skull was found, and immediately this animal was classified as a walking whale and considered to be a cetacean with other marine mammals such as whales and dolphins. Naming a newly discovered fossil as a walking whale when its feet had not even been discovered yet is the type of false practice that runs throughout paleontology. Once considered to be one of the best proofs of evolution, the complete skeleton of Pakicetus has been found, and there is no blowhole, no flippers, and no tail fluke. The skeleton of Pakicetus appears very similar in structure to the common wolf and the Tasmanian tiger. These new findings negate all of the plaster renditions and drawings of Pakicetus that were submitted to museums worldwide, yet none of them have been recalled. Now these museums are full of dioramas and skeletons of so-called walking whales that simply never existed. Do not expect their fraud to be recanted because their best examples of evolution are falling apart. If it looks like a wolf and walks like a wolf, Dr. Gingrich says it must be a whale. This unproven theory of evolution is an attempt to undermine the Word of God. Without this illogical theory, there is no other option than to believe God created all living creatures.
In 1859, Darwin speculated that bears evolved into whales. But does this story hold water? Secular scientists support Darwin's hunch with two main arguments. One, fossils, and two, useless features, also known as vestigial features. They claim that fossils show a clear evolutionary progression from land mammals to whales. But many of these fossils are incomplete. Take the famous fossil Pakicetus. Scientists first found an incomplete skull, and it didn't even have a body. Later, a more complete Pakicetus discovery revealed perfectly normal legs. Pakicetus lived on land. Or Rhodocetus. At first, with only one head, spine, and a few other bones, secular scientists imagined it had front flippers and a whale tail. But just like Pakicetus, later discoveries revealed that it was just a land-dwelling mammal. Sadly, some museum illustrations still show whale tails on Rhodocetus. Without Pakicetus or Rhodocetus, the main missing links vanish from whale evolution. So, we have whale kinds or land mammals, but nothing in between. Secular scientists often point to vestigial features as evidence for evolution. They assumed that certain whale hip bones were useless legs left over from land mammals evolving into whales. Come to find out, those bones play a pivotal role in helping whales reproduce. They aren't useless at all. The most complete scientific evidence refutes Darwin's hunch. Instead of transitional fossils and useless features, we find fully formed creatures according to their created kinds.